Welcome to Zephyr. Today we're going to be talking about JavaScript variables and how to declare them. The best ways for declaring JavaScript variables are using the two keywords const and let. So let's start off with const. Const is used when you want to declare a variable that you know won't change. So here I'm declaring two variables, A and B. They're both being declared as 0, and we're going to try to see the special property of const here. So I'm going to try to change A to 2, and we're just going to try to print A here. Save this and we'll run it. Let's see what we get here. So it says type error assignment to constant variable. And this is because JavaScript will not allow you to redeclare the value of a constant variable. And that's because it's constant. We want to keep this value the same throughout our code. There's two reasons for this, and I'll go into them later, but just know that you cannot redeclare a constant variable. Now, we can redeclare a let variable. So if we say let b equals 0, and here we say b equals 10, and now if we print this to the console, we should be getting 10. And you'll see here that we got the value 10 because let will allow you to redeclare the variable. Now, what I like to do is I like to keep all my variables as consts. And only when I know that they're going to change is when I redeclare them. So for example, I would start with const A equals 0, B equals 0, and then later on, let's say I know B will have to change to 5. That's when I go back and I change the const to a let. Now, back to those two reasons I mentioned before. The first one is that consts run faster in JavaScript, and that's because JavaScript doesn't have to go back and check the value every single time. It knows that this is a constant variable. And number two is, and this is my personal reason, is that it keeps your code cleaner. If you keep everything as consts at the top, then let's say you have a 400 line file, and you're going through it, and you notice a function that's using, for example, a variable A. Now, if variable A, if you look at the top and it's being declared as a let, then you have to go through all those lines of code to figure out if A has changed up until that point of that function. Whereas if you know A is a const, then you know A has not been changing this entire time. Its value remains the same. So you can already assume that A is going to be that value. And typically when I code, I notice that if I have like 10 consts, maybe 2 of them will change to lets. And this is just a personal thing that I've noticed when I'm coding, that if you start off with consts, most of the time you will not be changing them. And if you do change them, it's as easy as changing one variable to a let. So guys, thank you for listening. We will be continuing this series with more mini JavaScript basics. Thank you for watching, and hope to see you guys on the next one.